Just don't doubt yourself. You're super. You can do it all. Aren't things working out? Haven't you gained more confidence? Of course, that's just how it is, but in this video, we'll figure out how to become a confident person. I'll give you a few practical tips, and not just my own, but from experts. By the way, according to statistics, confident people are more likely to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. That's just a side note. All right, let's get started. New York Times journalist Eric Ravenscraft compares self-confidence to the water in your apartment. You probably don't know all the details. The water from the faucet stops flowing. That's hard to miss. Luckily, you can increase your self-confidence, but first, let's clarify the concepts. Self-confidence is often confused with self-esteem and self-efficacy. Even though these terms overlap, they are still three different things. Psychologist Albert Bandura gives these definitions. Self-efficacy refers to your belief in your ability to perform specific tasks. If you think you can cook dinner or finish a work project, that indicates high self-efficacy. People with low self-efficacy often put in less effort on a task if they don't believe they'll succeed, which accordingly increases the likelihood of failure. As for self-confidence, Bandura says it's more about a general belief in the likelihood that you will achieve your goals, especially based on your past experience. When you learn to play the guitar, it increases your confidence in your guitar playing abilities. Self-confidence also relates to your opinion of how you'll be perceived in a social group. If, for example, people laughed at your basket weaving hobby, next time you'll think twice about even telling anyone about it. As Bandura says, self-confidence and self-efficacy are rooted in experience, but self-confidence reflects a broader view of yourself, not just your confidence in specific tasks. And self-esteem relates to your belief in your overall worth. This category includes general statements like, "I'm a good person." But when you increase your self-confidence, you can also boost your self-esteem. Okay, are you not too bored yet? Are you still here? Do these phrases of mine sound a bit lacking in confidence? Why do we even need this self-confidence? According to the author of the book The Art of Charisma, Charlie Hubert, self-confidence doesn't just make you feel better, it also helps you take risks to achieve tangible improvements in your life. So self-confidence is directly linked to potential success. When you're unsure of yourself, you don't even try new or risky things, and without that, you can't achieve significant accomplishments. Lack of confidence is also called paralyzing doubt. Now let's get to the tips on how to actually increase your self-confidence. The first thing Charlie Hubert suggests is practicing radical honesty with yourself, and other people can help you with that. For example, someone asks you to tell them about your hobby. If you realize something is holding you back from responding, pay attention to that. It might mean you should stop doing that hobby, or more likely, accept that part of yourself. Personally, I often find it difficult to tell people what I do. I'm a blogger and voiceover artist, and in my 31-year-old mind, that sounds kind of unserious, so I usually just say I work on the internet. But I try to embrace it and be more open about it, especially since there's nothing shameful about it. This doesn't mean you have to tell every random person your whole life story, but you can find someone you can share even the slightly embarrassing parts of yourself with. Once you stop hiding parts of yourself from others, you'll realize you feel more confident. The second tip is physical exercise. It sounds obvious, but science tells us that regular physical activity can significantly boost your self-confidence. The American Psychological Association, for example, notes that it's also an excellent way to combat depression and anxiety. But as I said, don't force yourself to go to the gym if you don't like it. Find something you enjoy, maybe running or fencing or squash like Maxim Katz. The third piece of advice is to expand your comfort zone. Another seemingly trivial thing, but Hubert says this tip makes sense. Ultimately, self-confidence is about feeling comfortable in all sorts of situations, even ones that would make most people feel awkward. I need practice here. I understand it's hard to find comfort in our country, but the idea is a bit broader. Forget the word comfort. The point is to do something unfamiliar. You don't have to move to a different city or change jobs to expand your comfort zone. It could be as simple as talking to a stranger or trying a new food. Even little things you usually avoid can help you feel more confident in the end. The key is to do this regularly. The fourth suggestion is to try changing your appearance. Sounds kind of silly, but there are studies on this too. A professor at Columbia Business School, Dr. A. Damago-Linsky, found that subjects who wore lab coats demonstrated greater attentiveness and focus. They made fewer mistakes on tests. So our appearance really does affect our self-perception. If you want to feel more confident, dress like a more confident version of yourself. And the fifth tip is to acknowledge your accomplishments. This is a very useful habit that not only boosts your self-confidence, but also helps fight imposter syndrome. Periodically write down your successes, even small ones. For example, I was afraid to go to the doctor, but I did it. Or, I finished a work project ahead of schedule. On the path to a more confident version of yourself, you might have doubts. What if I become so confident that I become arrogant? Unlikely. Arrogance is more a result of insecurity than confidence. So developing self-confidence is actually the best defense against arrogance. It's important to understand that self-confidence is mostly born not from gaining something new, but from shedding the excess. All our fears, doubts, and anxieties that we've absorbed from those around us and our own temporary failures. And you can't get through life without failures. In fact, they're necessary to learn from them. And remember, all people occasionally lack confidence in themselves. That's normal. Don't set unrealistic goals to be 100% confident all the time. That's impossible and unnecessary. We're all basically similar at the core, but each of us is unique in some way. And it's worth remembering that thought because I find it very comforting. The journey to greater self-confidence isn't always easy, but it's so worth it. One of the biggest obstacles can be feeling self-conscious about how others perceive us. But the truth is, most people are far too preoccupied with their own lives to spend much time judging us. A helpful exercise is to consciously shift your perspective. Instead of worrying what strangers might think, consider how you would view a friend in a similar situation. You'd likely be much more understanding and forgiving. Try extending that same compassion to yourself. Another common confidence killer is comparing ourselves to others. It's a natural tendency, but it's ultimately unproductive. Each of us is on our own unique journey. Celebrate the traits and accomplishments that make you special, rather than focusing on where you fall short compared to those around you. Consistency is key when it comes to building self-confidence. Small daily actions add up over time. Maybe it's making eye contact and smiling at people you pass on the street, or challenging yourself to strike up a conversation with a new person each week. The more you practice stepping outside your comfort zone, the more natural it will become. And don't be afraid to fake it till you make it. Confidence is as much an attitude as it is a feeling. By acting the part, you can actually start to embody it. Stand up straight, speak clearly, and project an air of self-assurance, even if you don't quite feel it yet. The more you reinforce those behaviors, the more they'll become second nature. Of course, there will still be moments of self-doubt. That's part of the human experience. The key is not to beat yourself up over it, but to meet those feelings with self-compassion. Remind yourself that everyone struggles sometimes, and that's okay. With patience and perseverance, the confident moments will start to outweigh the uncertain ones. Cultivating self-confidence isn't a straight line. It's a winding journey with ups and downs. But each step you take, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction. Trust the process and enjoy discovering the best version of yourself along the way. Try to relax about what others think. Most of the time, we're only thinking about ourselves and our closest friends, and most people don't care about us any more than we care about them. So don't build your confidence at the expense of others. Build it on yourself. Draw from within. Enjoy the process. Enjoy your unique life. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.